Welcome back, everybody. We have truly, honestly, a legend. Ralph Terry here with us, played in several World Series. Has just come out with a book called Right Down the Middle, rightfully named because you were a pitcher. Now, you have to tell us about the World Series. It's every kid's fantasy is to play in the World Series.
Well, I was on 5 pennant winners and 56, 57 teams, and then 60 through 64. And but I pitched in 5 World Series. I pitched in the final game in 60, 61, and 62. 60 was a traumatic experience. I came in and threw the final pitch to Mazeroski. The score was 9-9, and he hit it over the fence, and we lost to the Pirates in Pittsburgh. And they went crazy in the bleachers. It was wild.
It's interesting some of the experiences you remember from some of those games, especially like that one. While it may not have been your shining moment, still a big moment in baseball.
Well, some people rank it as the top first or second game in baseball history. With the other one was when Bobby Thompson hit the home run off of Ralph Branca, and the Giants won the pennant in a playoff with the Dodgers. And so it was. I was a GOAT for a while. I like to say they gave me a day in New York, a day to get out of town.
Nothing wrong with that. And you discuss all this in your brand new book called Right Down the Middle, as I mentioned rightfully. Now we have to talk about the roster, because this means you interacted with some of the best along with yourself. We're talking, Elston Howard, who we were just talking about right before commercial, and Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris. You discuss all this in your book.
Well, Mickey Mantle was a truly great player. I mean, they've got a Hall of Fame, and then there's a real Hall of Fame. And you're talking about Mantle and Ted Williams, Stan Musial and Willie Mays and Sandy Koufax and guys, DiMaggio, guys like that. But playing with Mickey in center field, he was. And then when we got Roger Maris from Kansas City and put them back to back in the lineup, we won 5 straight pennants. And that one year, '61. The team hit 240 home runs, and Maris broke Ruth's record, and one fewer at bat. He was a 2-time most valuable player, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Now, I don't know why. He got in a feud with the writers, and they left him out. But he was a great player. He batted in front of Mickey Mantle. He only got 1 intentional walk. But then you had Yogi Berra. Yeah. Not too bad. Whitey Ford, great left-hander.
Not too bad. It's a good way to put it.
Then we had an infield with Moose Skowron on first, Bobby Richardson, Tony Kubek, and Clete Boyer from Alba over here. Clete and I played against each other in Van Johnson, baseball back in '52, and he was 15, I was 16. We were the 2 youngest players in the league.
Yeah.
And Moose Skowron on first was a great slugger, and they used to call that the $1 million infield.
It sounds like it. It's just. Every name you've mentioned is just, bringing back memory after memory of me reading about this. But in your book, you also discuss your professional golf era of sorts, which you excelled at as well.
Well, I had a car wreck when I was playing with Kansas City in the off season, and I had a fractured hip, and I was lucky they didn't have to rebuild it. I spent a couple of months in traction. I went to spring training. I couldn't do my running. So a couple of the coaches, Bob Swift and Don Hefner, liked golf. And they said, why don't you go to the golf course and rent a set of clubs and walk and carry your bag and get in shape, get your legs in shape. So I started hitting grounders and, and had a slice. And then somebody showed you how to get out of a sand trap. And I got into golf as therapy. Then as I turned 50, I qualified for the senior tour. And I got in a playoff. There was 3 of us for the 8th spot, the last spot. Yeah. And I got in, and now I'm getting to play the tour and get to play with Nicholas and Palmer and Gary Player and Trevino and Chichi and all these guys and travel, and it was a great experience.
You're just a natural-born athlete. Unfortunately, we're all out of time, but you got to pick up a copy of this Right Down the Middle. He discusses everything we've just talked about, a lot further detail, and I'm sure a few stories.
Thank you.
Just make it so much better. Thank you, Ralph, for coming in so early. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Now, up next, we're going to take a quick look at weather and birthdays. Don't go away.